they hurt me, you'd find out what made me angry, then use it to your ability. Now you're trying to avoid me. You're the big problem here, a bully to many for so many years. Now shut your mouth, close your ears. Never learned your lesson and nobody cares. That's what you're here for, here to make me miserable. I know you get joy out of it. You hurt me but call me the same names again. You know I never liked them, and that's so unforgivable. I know you ruined my childhood. You hurt me and do it all over again. You ruined my childhood. You hurt me and do it all over again.
This is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to The Sims 4 Royal Witch Kingdoms. Today we are picking up with the noble family of Eodvell over in the kingdom of Eodja. So, these guys, I am quite excited to get into our first noble family for this particular kingdom. Again, new blood, fresh characters. We don't exactly know what's going on with them. We're going to discover the personalities, and they don't have like any history with us. Compared to the other Sims that we've been playing. All the other households are well established and they've got stuff going. Now, we had a clean slate when we were starting with the Eodja Royals, and we thought, nothing too exciting is gonna happen. We're just gonna ease in, figure them out, see who they interact with, all of those light and fluffy things. Instead, at the party that the royals threw at the palace, two of our flippin' rulers from the other kingdoms ended up dying. And as a result, we had the destruction of one dynasty and the rise of a brand new one. So yeah, a lot has been happening ever since we jumped into this new fourth kingdom of Eodja. So hopefully from here, it's going to be smooth sailing. Now, before we dive into the episode, what exactly went on in the movie of this one? Let's quickly chat through. So we saw the consummation of the marriage for High Lord Kyle Eodvell and Lady Ismera. And we could see they have a very loving relationship with one another. Kyle is romantic. Both of them are perfectionists, which is why I feel like Ismera, and she's very confident, she's self-assured. She was kind of teasing him just a little bit. But they both kind of wanted to make the night perfect, and, they're excited to have their perfect little family. So it is very much like a joint effort to make this family grow. And I'm sure part of them, she's also ambitious, Ismera. So part of that is, or part of their growth, personally, I feel like adds to the growth of the kingdom in her mind. So she, by establishing their family and growing their family is helping Eodja as a nation become better than what it currently is. So they're both very excited and on board about this, almost as much as us. So we had that, and then afterwards they came outside, sat by the fire, and they were just, chatting with each other, and Ismera was sharing the good news from the palace that, they received. They have a high princess now, so that means the kingdom is secure because we have the next generation kind of ensured, which is very important. And then she asked an interesting question. She asked Kyle, do you think the other witch kingdoms trust us? And Kyle's response was, well, the royals, the Tetrulars, are tricky, my love. Even more so their words. So already they kind of have this idea that the other royals of the witch kingdoms, that survived the fire, they have said they're okay with the Eodjas and that they believe the Eodjas, but that doesn't necessarily mean they don't have doubts and suspicions, or it doesn't necessarily mean that they have, a proper, honest kind of trust in these guys. It doesn't necessarily mean that, because, we've seen it. We've flippin' seen that in the previous episode I think we played, where Queen Zara was in her third trimester, the Ciccar royal family actually sent in Princess Padme to work at the palace and kind of serve as a spy almost. And that, I feel like, would have been known to these guys, or at least to the others. Like, they would have kind of heard in their own court, the Eodja court, there would have been whisperings that, the Ciccars have sent Padme, but, she's actually a spy for that royal family. Now, what wasn't shared with everyone and kept more private was that it was Veronica. There we go. What wasn't shared is that Miss Veronica Naldigan was sent by the Naldigan family from Nalkosi. And she also was kind of serving as a spy, but unfortunately she ended up dying in a fire at the palace, like another one. So yes, we had another death that has been kept on the down low. In fact, I'm pretty sure the High King took her ashes back to her family, and nobody has kind of blown this up a lot, which is probably why these guys haven't even heard of the incident, because I think Eldrick was doing something he wasn't supposed to be, and now that his sisters died, he can't really throw a tantrum, because then he'll out himself that he was doing stuff he wasn't supposed to and he was spying on that kingdom. And he's a Tira? Yep, he's a Tira family, so he's a noble family, which means he can't exactly get away with it like the Ciccars, who are also Tetrulars, they're royals, so they can pretty much do whatever they want. Anyways, these guys, we are going to be waiting for some good news, fingers crossed, to see if Ismera gets pregnant. And what else? Right, before we continue playing, I kind of wanted to give quick credits in the video as to who submitted these sims. I did include all the creators who submitted the sims for the nobles in this new kingdom in the description of the very first video we played with the Eodjas, but I'll go ahead and like since then I've looked it up, so I actually have like names written down that I can share with you guys. So High Lord Kyle was made by Bunnycole, and Lady Ismera was made by Bluebird4502. So there we go. That should be in the description in case you guys want to find and download these Sims. Now, I'm pretty sure for, like, the only adjustments really I made to them was giving them the bat ears so that they have that unique Eodja look. But also, I think for Kyle, I changed his skin tone. I changed his skin tone because he had, like, a normal skin color, and I wanted a more fantasy one, so I just gave him this kind of ice blue skin tone, which nobody has in the kingdoms. So where possible, I've tried to introduce some new skin tones, but not always. So anyways, these guys, do I have autonomy on? Because I do. They have been blending into each other's faces for I don't know how long. Anyways, let's see what they want done. Right, he wants to ask Ismera about her day, and he also wants to stargaze with her. So why don't we do exactly that? Let's ask about her day. Let us go ask about her day. Alright, there we go. And then we'll get them to stargaze with each other. I think that will be quite sweet. So let's stargaze at midnight. Out near the fire. Come on, let's go. I kind of like how blue this couple is. I like it. Also, do we have anyone in the like newest generations with this dark blue skin tone? I don't exactly remember. Obviously, we had a lot of the Ciccars, and then we had Padme. Not Padme. Padme has a light skin tone. We had a lot of the Ciccars with this skin tone that they inherited from their father, High King Yorick. And obviously, High Princess Eve had it, but she died. She was assassinated, and then Luna died without passing it on to anyone else. And then, who's the other one? Their brother, Elrond, he has that skin tone, but he only has one son, and the son took the Nimue skin tone, the Nalka skin tone, so we don't have, I think, the dark blue anymore. So I'm actually excited for Ismera, fingers crossed, to introduce some of that into our population. Yeah, I think that might be nice. If I've, like, missed someone, let me know. But I don't think I have. Meralda has the light blue skin tone, and then her sisters have the turquoise one, so I don't actually think anybody in the newer generations has dark blue anymore. Okay, so while they're doing that, might as well take you guys through their little estate. So they have a quaint, look at this, a quaint little estate right over here. So this is like the really cute front, right, autumn themed. And then this is kind of the back that they have a little pond, a nice fireplace. They have a cauldron so they can make their potions and store their potions. We'll take a look at the inside now. In terms of where it is, you can kind of see that is where the Eodja Palace is, and then we have the Eodmoon estate over there, which is closer to the palace. So inside, let's see, inside you come in, it's very tight. Not like super tiny, but it is very, I feel like, comfortable. So we have a little living room here, and then a door that takes you kind of, oh yeah, so this is the door that takes you out to the backyard. But we have a little bathroom over here, and then a dining room and quaint kitchen. If you go upstairs, we have this kid's room right over here, and then we have a bathroom on the right side. We have a secondary bedroom here for maybe when a kid gets a little bit older, another bathroom off to this side, and then we have the master bedroom along with a small study and balcony. And then I had to add a little basement area so that they could have a birth chamber / nursery for the babies that are born. and that has like an outside access through here. So that's pretty much all we have for this estate. Now I feel like I wrote, I also put, I'm pretty sure in all these videos I've been putting, like the Eodja videos, I've been putting the different estates on the gallery, except I don't know if I've labeled the Eodvell and Eodmoon estates properly, but it's definitely like one of the two credits is of this house, and the other one is of the opposite one all the way there. So, you know, if you type in both of them, you'll find these two for sure. Okay, well, these guys, I don't think they have anything else that they want to do at present. So I think I will leave them be, and we can jump back in maybe once we have something more interesting happening, or we have news about whether or not Ismera is expected. It is 6 a.m. on Monday morning. These two are having some hot pot for breakfast in the morning. And unfortunately, Lady Ismera is not expectant, guys. So she did not manage to conceive. However, she and both Lord Kyle are feeling flirty, and she even got the want to woohoo with him. Now, because they have a really good relationship, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they will have a try for a baby want. But also, I realized I did not go through their personalities for you guys. I mean, I gave you kind of like a brief intro at the beginning of this video, but let's just take a look. So with High Lord Kyle Eodvell, he is a perfectionist, romantic, proper, and then he's got the spellcraft and sorcery aspiration. And you know, I just mentioned that because they might influence the wants or the frequency of, you know, family wants that these Sims get. And then for Lady Ismera, Eodvell, she's self-assured, a perfectionist, ambitious, and she has the fabulously wealthy aspiration. So that is it for them. Now both of them have been trying to practice their potion making skills, and unfortunately Ismera is still an apprentice, so she hasn't really gotten much done. Kyle, he is, well, a neophyte for now. And he can make potions just a little bit faster, but unfortunately he hasn't managed to concoct anything just yet. So we will have to keep an eye on that. But let's see, as soon as they have done eating, I think they're starting to feel sick. Kyle was sick not too long ago, and now Ismera is feeling that way. Ugh, that sucks. Oh well, oh well. They haven't had any visitors, interestingly enough. And it makes sense, they don't really know too many Sims. And literally, they just know the others from within the kingdom. I mean, yes, we did have that party with, you know, all of the other royals and such, but maybe they didn't get a chance to actually speak to anyone else or introduce themselves. Maybe they just stuck to the Eodja nobles that they already knew and had met. Which I can kind of see might be intimidating, you know, the first time you convene with the other kingdoms and you see all these other royals. It might be a bit nerve-wracking, especially when they have yet to kind of fully establish themselves. But okay, we are gonna not waste any time and encourage her to go ahead and woohoo with Lord Kyle, just so we can clear up these ones and maybe start having a few other ones that, you know, we really want. Okay, what's going on here? Kyle, is it because you have decided to settle down at the typewriter? Probably. Come on, Kyle. Let's not be a hassle. Let's get him, like, stepping out. Come on. Make it easy for her. Now she can access him. There we go. Yeah, like I said, this particular estate is quite tight. So sometimes they have to finagle a bit to actually complete certain whims and wants. But okay, here they go. Send you two off and get you two going for some alone time. There we go. And hopefully that opens up some whims for her and for him. Which I don't... He hasn't really had very many whims for her, I think. I think they've had a few, like, asking about each other's days and being friendly, but actually it's been mainly Ismera. Mainly. He is the romantic one, though, so if anything, he might be the one that gets the try for a baby wand that we really, really, really want. Okay, again, no visitors, which is kind of intriguing, and I see no one really on the streets. No one really. But yeah, the Eodmoons live, like, right opposite the palace, so I wonder if that's going to influence the closeness the two families have, and whether, you know, these guys being so far away might affect the relationship with the worlds. And what the heck is happening there? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was so scary for a second. Now the thing about them being in Strangerville is that we do have these odd kind of plants, and then we do have some strange people from time to time. That kind of strange people from time to time. But, we are gonna promptly ignore that and hope that they can have an idyllic life within the palace walls and the estates in which they live. But okay, we got a quick update for these guys. Why don't we jump back in when we have a bit more progress? I mean, fingers crossed we get something done, or if we have a visitor, something like that. We'll see. So, looks as though Ismera is falling onto her backside over and over again while trying to skate at the roller rink. But these guys, Friday, 8:30 a.m., have decided to come out to the Eodja Nobles Park, where I was hoping they would be able to meet some of the other Sims. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen the other witches in this part of town just yet, but that's fine because it's an outing for the Eodvells, and I feel like they needed it because they weren't having any whims for each other or for anyone else, and I was playing off camera for like days, and I thought, you know what, they need a refresher. Also, because of how much time I spent with them, a bunch of the youngsters across the kingdoms aged up, so I had to give them makeovers. Our princess Cersei is now a toddler, so that's exciting. And she has her mother's hair color, which is like a purple pink. I feel like the Sims, like in the available Maxis hair colors, they don't really have purple. Not even lilac. The thing the game considers lilac is more like pinkish, like a mauve color. But anyways, Cersei has her father's grey skin. She's got her father's yellow eyes and her mother's purple pink hair. So there we go. But these guys, we want some progress with them. Thankfully, this trip out to the Nobles park over here, let's take a quick look at it. I will have the creator in the description of this video so you guys can find and download and play if you like. But it is a nice, quaint spot with a bunch of picnic tables for when we have more traffic. We've got a bunch of grills over here, a roller rink, so that everyone is slightly entertained, and then a bunch of stalls that are open for our lovely Sims to eat and snack from and grab a drink from. But in terms of everywhere else, like where this park is located, it's in this really cool section up here. It's like tucked away from the rest of the neighborhood, and the Eodvells, they live right here, so they're actually quite close to the park. And for everyone else, it's a bit of a trip, but that's fine. That's where the park is located. So, hi Lord Kyle, thank goodness this trip out to the park gave him some whims for his wife. So he wants to flirt with Lady Ismera and ask her about her day. So we'll go do that. Can we speak to them like in the roller rink? I don't think so. I might have to get her out. No, you get out too. You guys get out too, because I want you to be able to speak to each other. So let's... Now, where is the flirt option? He is proper... Is it court? I'm not entirely sure. I have to, this is guesswork like all the time because I tend to forget. Yep, apparently that counted. Let's ask her about her day. Let's ask about her day. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna have a try for a baby want, but we can try. We can attempt to get them close to each other. And I mean, he's in a pleasant mood. Unfortunately, there's nothing else here for me to work on right now. Ismera, thank goodness, wanted to chat with Lady Arwen. So that's really good. Why? Because I definitely want to see connections between the other noble houses. So let's invite over Lady Arwen, and then we can get them conversing with each other. And she isn't really friends with everyone, but I think it would be a good idea for her to get close to the other noble lady. I think that might be a good idea. Let's discuss some interests. And oh no, it is starting to rain. And she got a cupcake for herself and a drink. Oh no, she got a drink for herself. That's nice. Look at how pretty Arwen is. I mean, everyone here is quite pretty, but I feel like Arwen is quite striking. Okay, so she had a bit of a chat. And you know, one of the things I love, guys, is that sometimes, you know, I'm following through with these whims. When huge things happen, then I have like an immediate story that comes to mind. But sometimes with these small interactions, I don't really read too much into it. And like either, you know, I don't have a specific thing maybe they conversed about in mind or a specific reason they're acting a certain way. Or I'll just kind of leave a room for the stories to breathe a bit, and then you guys come through in the comments and have like a theories about what they spoke of or why they were acting a certain way, and you connect it to all these other episodes, which is kind of really cool, and I love that because that also helps me form the stories. You guys, I feel at times notice things I might not because my attention is like in one place or another. But this is good, this is good. And what, we have bills? Apparently we have bills. Now, unfortunately, there's like literally no one else here. I would have loved for someone else to come visit. And I don't know why that is. I mean, if we look at the parks, this is supposed to be like a national park, I think. If we look at some of the other locations in the other kingdoms, like they have so much traffic. And we're able to see witches from all over the place. But, you know, actually, another thing which you guys were talking about in the previous episode in the comments is that because there have been so many deaths in Eodja, maybe they're going to start having a bit of a stigma around them as either evil witches or, you know, cursed witches, someone like people that cause pain and death. That might be a stigma that sticks with them, so the others might be unwilling to interact with the Eodja Sims nearly as much. And I think that fits with, you know, the whole thing here, where our park isn't really getting any guests. Like the only people really who are visiting are the ones who live in Eodja themselves. Because maybe, even if they've opened their kingdom up to the other witches, nobody's really willing to make the trek and come here because they kind of view the Eodja witches with suspicion. So I actually really like that. And you guys mentioned this in the comments and just came to my head. And I thought, actually, there might be a reason why our park is empty. It's because nobody really wants anything to do with these guys, which is so unfortunate. And then, you know, with that in mind, I feel like the Eodja witches have even more reason to become proficient at potions and start having like a good business relationship with the other kingdoms because the social relationship is kind of weakening, and potion making and potion trading might be the kind of only way they're able to keep up with the others and actually have any semblance of order, of courtesy and connection. So, kind of interesting. But okay, we didn't stick here for too long because unfortunately we don't have much going on. But we'll take off hopefully their wants have been refreshed, and we'll get even more from them at a later point. And I'm still working on the potions and such. So I'll see you guys in a bit. It's 4:15 in the afternoon. Ismera has just made us some pumpkin scones, and that sounds so delicious. And she has called everyone to the meal, so we're having that. And one of the things I've started to do with these guys, instead of like individually sending my Sims over to eat, is that whenever the lady of the house, like in other households, it'll be the man of the house, depending on, you know, the head/spousal situation. But whenever the lady of the house makes food, she just calls everyone to the meal so they can eat in one go. That's what I've started doing, and I actually like that quite a bit. That makes sense to me, so I don't have to individually, you know, feed them at different times. I just feed them at once. So they're having the pumpkin scones, and they'll both have another round, because why not? And thankfully we do have some whims to work on. So Lord Kyle wanted to chat with Lord Emery. Maybe he saw his wife speaking to Lady Arwen, so he thought, you know what, actually, yeah, maybe I should invite over our neighbor and get to know him a little bit more. So we are going to invite Emery to our estate and have a little bit of a chat with him. Just, you know, it's a good idea to have a good relationship with your neighbors, and also invite him in with the other court members of Eodja. I mean, if everyone else across the Witch Kingdoms is giving you the cold shoulder, you should probably stick really close to your own kin. So he's going to invite Emery in, and hopefully we have a nice, friendly chat. So we'll go do that. Then eat. What are you doing? Don't leave your pumpkin scones all over the place. Don't do that. Come on. Grab your scone. There we go. Your wife put so much effort into that. Don't just leave it on the pavement outside. And then you can... Oh yeah, we also have bills. So let's pay those off. And then we can ask about love life. Yeah, that's friendly. That's friendly. We don't want to flirt with him. But yes, we can ask about his love life. Why not? Why not? Oh, can you not reach? I feel like asking about love life in these kingdoms, it's more like you're not really asking about their love lives. If anything, you're asking them how the family genes are progressing. You're asking them if there's any good news from the household. So let's go pay the bills. Come on. Let's go do that. And Emery, feel free to stick around at the estate. Chat with us if you so please. Arwen's reaching out to us, but to go somewhere which we don't really want. And Ismera wants to cloud gaze with Kyle. Thankfully, the skies have cleared up, so we don't have any more rain situation happening. So why don't we go out? We'll go out and we'll cloud gaze. Hopefully Kyle and Emery are on their best behavior. I hope so. I hope so. And I wonder if Emery is gonna tell Kyle about the incident with the High King. He might not, because they're not exactly friends just yet. Maybe if they were closer, then Emery would, you know, feel comfortable saying that the king, the High King, was not acting appropriately and trying to flirt it up with Emery, which, you know, he rejected the High King's advances. And maybe he felt a little bit taken advantage of, but I don't think he's gonna do that because, like I said, they're not exactly that close. I don't know if you'd reveal such sensitive information to someone that could potentially be your competition. I mean, yes, they're not exactly each other's competition, but, you know, we haven't worked out everyone's personalities just yet, and I imagine neither have they, so you'd want to be careful. And guys, what happened to the food? I told you to finish eating your pumpkin scots and you just ran off. They just don't want to listen. They just don't want to listen. And in terms of our potion progress, so these are like the potions we've managed to make. If we make one more, I'm thinking like, because we won't have, unlimited space. We have certain amount of displays within a palace or estate, and I feel like maybe the witches, they make potions in like batches, so they make enough to fill out all the space, and once they run out of space, they don't make any new potions until they have either used or traded all of the ones they already possess, like their current stock. So I think we'll continue making potions until we've got like one more left, and then I'll start doing the random generators off camera to see who acquires that potion, or but here's the other thing. They can only trade with Sims who are not from Eodja, because the thing is, everyone in Eodja has the capacity to make their own potions. So you have to know someone outside of this group in order to trade your potions, which is why I actually wanted to take them to a public place like the park, and I was hoping we'd meet some of the other witches so that we could begin our trade relationship, but unfortunately we haven't. So really what these guys are limited to is probably being invited, maybe, to either they have to, when we're playing with other households, like actually go to the different kingdoms and meet some of the other witches and Sims, or they're going to have to just wait to be invited to another party at the Eodja Palace where they might be able to mingle with some of the others. In that way, they'll be able to build trade relationships in the future. Like right now, the palace is the only one, because I don't know who the Eodmoons have managed to build a relationship with, like what acquaintances they have from other kingdoms. I know the palace has like one or two, so they are able to trade if they want to. Whereas these guys, they can't, even if they have potions, which is so unfortunate. But anyways, I will leave off and we'll jump back at a later point. So it is 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, and I brought the Eodvells over to the Magic Realm so that they could build some connections with the witches from the other kingdoms autonomously. I don't want to force them into any introductions, but I just figured if we went to a place where we had a bunch of witches in the same space, maybe they would go ahead, start some conversations, and this way we would be able to build trade connections for our potions. And I was also hoping that they would get, their whims refreshed, and we'll see if they want to interact with any of the others. Now, I did spend some time in the Magic Realm with them. I came here early in the day. So basically, Kyle spoke. I think he wanted to interact with Emery, so he invited over Emery, and they just had a conversation, a long one, like right at the stairs over here. So they're conversing for quite a while, and then Emery excused himself, and at that point, I still don't think he has managed to make any connections with anyone, unfortunately, and neither has Ismera. But, oh geez, what's happening? Let's go down. Yeah, they didn't manage to converse with anyone, even though, look, they're in a room full of prominent witches, which is a little bit frustrating. And we have the Nalkosi Queen here, who I cannot recognize because the game has thrown her into a random outfit, unfortunately. Same as everyone else here, but it's okay, we can overlook that temporarily. So we had that happening. And then he wanted to cloud gaze with Ismera, and she did with him. So they did some cloud gazing out here. And then we had this whim pop up for Lord Kyle. Try for a baby with Lady Ismera. So I am super happy, and he wants to chat with her, so we are wasting like no time. Actually, we might have to waste a little bit of time because they are starving and we don't want them to die before this child arrives. So let us go upstairs, because I think this is where the kitchens are. Yes. And we'll get Ismera to prep some food and then call him to a meal, and then once they're done, we can get started with some things that I've been waiting for we have been waiting for. And hopefully this time around they manage to change their fortunes, because it's been, we'll make some raspberry pie. Why not? That sounds nice, actually. And she wants to chat with High King Owain, so we'll be able to do that. But yeah, I thought I'd have to end the episode and we wouldn't have anything successful happening with this family, but as it turns out, no. We, because of this whim, are going to be ending on a high note. They'll have a chance for conception, so we'll be coming back for another episode with them to see if she was successful. And even if she isn't, we'll have like at least another episode now to see if we can build trade connections and do some more potion things with them. So I think it'll be good either way. So we'll make a pie, we'll eat some pie. I kind of want him to converse with her while she's cooking, but at the same time, it does slow down their activities, and she's very close to starvation, so I don't think we'll want to mess with that. And oh, look at Daphne and everyone that's like showing up with gray hair now because they're all old. All of our simmies are getting old, guys. But also, I don't know if I spoke about this, but in the previous episode, I'm not entirely sure if I have. I might have, but I don't remember, so I'm going to do it anyways. In the previous episode, we started featuring the new intro, not only for the channel, but also an outro for the channel. Not only that, but we have the series intro, which has been updated a little bit to be dynamic so that we can... Why did you put the raspberry pi? So we can update the changes which happen as we gain and lose characters in our, like among our royalty. Okay, I guess we can't call to a meal. That's fine. Grab a serving. We'll get him to come grab a serving as well. So yeah, we have that new intro. And because of that, like previously, the way it worked is that I had one kind of static intro for the entire series, and then I liked to not have the new rulers take up leadership until like all the rulers across the kingdoms had died, and then they all take over at the same time, and that becomes the beginning of the new season. But since we don't have that anymore, I won't be necessarily, like, I'll still wait for both parents to die before the new leader, like, you know, before the heir becomes the new leader of the house or the royal family and, you know, the kingdom. But what I will do because of that, because we're no longer going to be starting a new season depending on when the kings, like the new kings get appointed and the new queens get appointed, I am going to make each season the same amount of episodes, because we don't really have like a specific point at which the season should end now, since we'll be having like a change in monarchs, who knows, maybe several times across one season. What I'm going to do is however many episodes we had in season 1, now that is going to be the standard set of episodes for each of the Royal Witch Kingdom seasons. So I think the first season we did for 72 or 74 episodes. I think it was 74. Which means season 2 is going to be ongoing until our 74th episode. And then that'll be the last episode, regardless of where we're at. And then we'll start the new season after that. So that is how things are going to be. Let me know what you guys think. But that is where my mind is at. Okay, they have both eaten, nice, and look, she's already picked out a bed. Wonderful. So we are going to wake her up, and we are going to send Kyle upstairs. Kyle, can you go upstairs? Can you go upstairs? Well, we're going to send Kyle upstairs, and hopefully Ismera wakes up. Maybe by the time Kyle gets here. But, oh, that's exciting. I thought for sure, like, we're going to end with an unsuccessful episode where we're not going to have the stuff I wanted done. But right at the end, he came with this whim. And that made me super happy. Okay, she's not waking up. It's fine, because this is when we reset her. There we go. So let's get you two going. Hopefully this time around we have some good news. It's kind of making me nervous. Like, maybe she's not entirely fertile. But also, I'm just realizing it's actually a really good thing that Kyle has been trying to befriend Emery and, like, well, not befriend, but, you know, he's been interacting with him a lot, because if they become friends and we start playing with the Eodmoons, then we could have a pop-up for the Eodvells to expand their family, and that would be awesome. Like, we'd make progress without actually being here. That would be great. Okay, are they going? Yes, they are. Excellent. Excellent. That makes me happy. Okay. Now also, a thing to note is that typically, like, after this interaction, I do click on the toilet just to make sure we have a option to take a test. But that throw up might not come until later. Like, if you click on the toilet straight away, then it's not always an option, at least in my experience. You have to give it a couple hours. And typically a couple hours later, if they have the option to throw up, then, you know, it's a positive, they've conceived. If they don't, then they probably haven't. But just to check that I haven't accidentally just done like a woohoo. Okay, here we go. Yes, we do have the option. And yes, there's no throw up option, but it doesn't matter right now. You have to check a few hours later. But we're not going to check that because we're going to be waiting for her to give us a sign. But okay, he's managed to do that, which is great. And we can come back in the next episode now to see if they succeeded. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.